Hi there guys, good morning and welcome to another Keep Greek video where I'm just practicing my Greek, trying to keep it up and recording it in video so I can go over it at a later stage and encourage myself, and hopefully also you might be able to be encouraged and helped through these videos as well. Please do comment in the comments below if it is helpful, and let's have a discussion on this passage. Romans 1 verse 1 to 7 is open in front of us. I'm going to identify the verbs first and then we'll take it from there. First verb I see is a participle, and I identify participles with italics and indicative verbs with bold. So here we have a participle aphorismenos coming from aphorizo. Proepengailato is an indicative verb. Genomenu is a participle. Aristentos is a participle. Elabomen is an indicative verb. Este is an indicative verb. Usen is a participle form of aime. And that's all our verbs in this passage. So it seems we have 3 indicative verbs in these 7 verses. And it looks like we have 4 participles. Now, we may of course be wrong, but let's break this up into a syntax diagram now to try and help us. And once we got that done, we'll start identifying the verbs a little bit further. Please note, I don't want these videos to go much more over 8 minutes, trying to keep them short so that we can engage with it and carry on with our lives. This is just to help us keep our Greek. So if I do come to an end of this video, and we haven't completed this section, we'll come back to it in another following video. All right, Paulos doulos Christos, we have a comma. Comma helps us with syntax. I'm just going to put everything on the right line. Kleitos apostolos. Aphorismenos, here we have a prepositional phrase. Eis euangelion theou, comma, new verse. Ho proepengailato, a prepositional phrase. Diaton prophoton autou. We have again a prepositional phrase, comma, new line. It starts a new preposition. I think what I'm actually going to be doing here is putting my prepositional phrases in brackets so that we can easily identify them as prepositional phrases. Peritu, huiu. I'm just going to close that prepositional phrase over here. You'll see why later on. Ek spermatos David. Let's get this prepositional phrase onto a new line. Again, prepositional phrase. Katasarka. And duname. Katapneuma hagiosunes. Ek Anastaseos Necron Iesus Christus Curio Humon Dia u elabomen Charin kai apostolein Eis upakonen Pistues. Oopsie. We need to get this verb onto a new line without the prepositional phrase, and that onto a new line, and that onto a new line. So lots going on here. We're going to syntax this later. This is of course a preposition. Pasin is dative plural, so it will go together with us, the name, because it's also dative plural. We have a new preposition here. Hupertu onomatos autou. I think we can close that prepositional phrase there. En ois este kai humeis kleitoi Jesu Christu. En Rome agapatois theoi, kleitois hagios charis humein kai erene apotheu patros humein kai kuriou Jesu Christu. Alright, I think we got all our clauses on one line. This is good. Now we actually need to syntax that. Beginning again from the top. Paul, a servant of Jesus Christ, called apostle. So because we've got so much describing Paul, I'm going to syntax this slightly differently than I would normally. We don't have any verbs in the first verse except for the participle. So because all of this is describing Paul, I'm going to put this onto a new line. Paul, a servant. He's a servant of Jesus Christ. He is called apostle, having been set aside or having been appointed into the gospel of God. I think this is how I would best syntax this first verse. Let's move on to verse number 2. Ho pro engelato. Ho, with, you can see the accent marker there, is actually not an article here. It is which. So this is describing the antecedent which came before, which would be the gospel of God, the gospel which was proclaimed beforehand or promised before. We'll come back to that word a little bit later on. It was promised before through the prophets of him, his prophets. I'm going to leave our 2 on one line just for now with dear, because it is really describing the prophets of him. That makes sense. And it was described not only through the prophets, but in the writings. So that was describing gospel. Let's move on. Perituchion, so concerning. Again, we're going to have to stick this because it is the gospel concerning the Son of him, the having become. So in this sense, I'm actually going to put this one onto a new line because it's describing the Son of him, again a genitival, the one having become from the seed of David. There we go. I'll leave David on the same line with that prepositional phrase. Katasarka, according to flesh, having become from the seed of David, according to the flesh. That's describing the previous clause, so we'll stick it there. To horistentos. Horistentos, from horizo, to appoint, to declare. So concerning the Son, the one having been declared Son of God. Okay, so we'll leave that there because it's describing the Son. In dunamai, in power, so having been declared in power. Katapneuma, according to spirit, hagiousenes, of holiness. Yeah, the spirit of holiness from resurrection of death. Jesu Christu tu kuriu humon. Alright, the one having been declared Son of God in power according to the Spirit of holiness. I'm going to stick this aside so we can see that it is in parallel with the previous katasarka. And then ek anastaseos nekron, from resurrection of death. Declared what? Declared Jesus Christu. Now, all these three phrases are going to have to go back a little bit so that we can identify the structure better. The one having been declared Son, starting from verse 4, tu horisthetos, the having been declared one, Son of God, end of the verse, Jesu Christu tu kurion. Alright, we're actually going to be over time here, but I'm going to continue with this syntax, and then we'll do more detailed analysis of the verbs later on. Alright, man, I'm going to have to cut it right over there because we've gone over time. I know we haven't gone through the passage in its entirety, but I'm going to finish this up in a following video. So please do subscribe and like, and you'll be notified when I have completed the next video. Hopefully it'll be within a week. Cool, guys. Keep up your Greek and have a great day.